Welcome everyone to another episode of the Marketing Measurement Matters podcast. Today, of course, with Tim and Tim, but a special guest today, Shekhar, who is our staff data scientist here at Funnel and has a pretty amazing profile. So you have been with IBM, with Accenture, you have been lead data scientist at Ernst & Young, and how come you not you now at Funnel?
Yeah, that's right. I'm happy to be here.
Cool, welcome. And what kind of stations did you go through? From all these amazing organizations. What did you learn about machine learning in particular, and what were the things that kind of interested you in then coming to Funnel?
Sure. As you mentioned, my career started with Accenture. I worked there for more than around 5 years. Then I moved to IBM, and within IBM there is a domain. There's an internal organization called Watson. Mm-hmm. So Watson was the initial players who have introduced machine learning or AI based.
You all remember Watson, of course.
Yeah,
we do remember Watson.
Wasn't it a robot that also played chess?
Also played, and a couple of more games. Yeah. I was fortunate enough to work for Watson IoT team, and that's when I went into the data world. We went to Singapore to make the smart country even more smarter using Watson's Smarter City program. So we were building a lot of prediction models there for their government projects and stuff like that. So that was my initial. That was in 2016, I guess. So that was the initial introduction to machine learning in general. I did my master's in data science, and then I completely went into building machine learning models, but on a production grade, because those were the models that were getting infused with IBM products. I was part of software labs. We were building IBM products. So that was the time when building models was the thing, machine learning models. Then,
we remember that time.
Yeah.
Good times, actually.
Predictive models and stuff like that. Yeah. So, and then building neural networks, which was, let's say, 2020s things. So we're then moving all my use cases from machine learning models to basically trying out with deep learning models and stuff like that. I also wrote a couple of books on deep learning topics. I'm also, you can search me on Amazon. So I've
please everyone, search Shekhar on Amazon and make him rich.
Buy some books, yeah.
Yeah. So and then that's what I mean. Learning how to build machine learning models and then taking them to production into products of IBM. That was very enriching experience for me. And then with Ernst & Young, I was playing a role of a consultant. So it was again very enriching in terms of the number of use cases I have experienced there with the very diverse kind of data sets that we have to look into. That was around 2022, but after that ChatGPT came, and then AI became a thing, which is again a wrapper on top of deep learning models, basically. But so after that, from last couple of years, I'm building GenAI based applications. Like within my 15 years of experience, I've worked on various domains, including banking, finance, energy, and transportation. From last 3.5 years, I've been working on marketing domain. So and here I am. We are building together marketing AI products.
But why didn't you finish your track record and went to PwC or something like that, and went into Funnel, which is also a bit smaller than the other companies, right?
That is true. 15 years of experience with big organizations was very enriching for me. Then I moved to Germany, basically. I was working in Ernst & Young India, so I moved to Germany and moved to a Hamburg-based company, and that's where I got 3 years of marketing experience. So, honestly speaking, even within these big organizations like IBM, we were working like startups. Yeah. They had this agile principles for smaller projects within IBM as well. So I was very well driven and well accustomed with startup and small. Let's not call Funnel as smaller, but as comparatively to IBM and probably, but
not a massive company.
Yeah.
Massively big.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, I'm model agnostic. I'm let's call it model agnostic, company agnostic, and size agnostic probably.
It's the right
the,
way.
the work should be exciting enough, and that's what drive me.
Nice.
Just before we dig into maybe the details of marketing measurement and how you can use AI for that, quick question on IBM and Watson. What happened to it? Like, what's your view on why they kind of? I mean, IBM is not at the forefront right now, to be honest, with regards to GenAI. At least in my understanding. What do you think? What do you think? Not went wrong, but what did they kind of miss out on? Where were they kind of disruptively innovated by or whatever?
Okay, the feeling that we have for IBM today related to GenAI, that was the same feeling, for example, 7 years back with respect to cloud, right? I mean, AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure were killing it, but IBM was still in the game even then. Why? When I say in the game, what I mean is they have. I'm talking from 7 years old perspective. At that point of time, all big government projects or projects where data security was a big thing for, especially for US companies, I felt my experience told that they wanted to stick with IBM, and there is never ever a dearth of projects within IBM. So maybe they are not the forefront, but they are still a player. Even then they were a player in cloud domain, and even now they are a player because based on my contacts within IBM, I know that even in GenAI perspective, they are doing a lot of projects. They have a lot of fundings. They have also built their own graphite model, which is not as big as maybe other models, but they have their own foundation model. But they do a lot of work in application development stuff.
I mean, I even have some, not customers, but I heard about a lot of projects where IBM is using stuff like OpenAI and builds it as not an on-premise service, but as a cloud service for the company, so nothing else can get in there. So I think for high data security stuff, it's still a lot, and I think they probably don't have to do their own GenAI because they can just use all the other stuff out there and benefit from that massively already.
And I think that was a recent news that even they have onboarded Creo AI as on their platform to build agentic applications as well. So yeah.
Which is actually a great introduction into one of our main topics for today. So you just said agentic applications, and I think a lot of people today talk about agentic AI or AI agents, but it's probably fair to say that it's not very clear to everyone out there what exactly that means and what's the difference between a vanilla LLM and an agent, right? So would you care to elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So to put it on a very simple terms, let's think of it in this way, that LLMs, when you go to ChatGPT or when you call, let's say, OpenAI APIs, you are calling an LLM. So it's a text in, text out kind of transaction, right? We also can add chat histories to that calls so that we get good, the LLM gets good contextual understanding about conversational kind of topics. But there are three major things that has to be integrated with LLM to make it basically agent. Yeah. What are those three things? Number one, definitely an agent has to have a mind, which is LLM. So LLM is integral part of agent. Yeah. But it's not only LLM. The second thing is memory, right? Now, sending everything as a context is one thing, but having an agent, a memory is a different thing, right? We can have memory in terms of chat histories. We can have memory in terms of user interactions throughout the, user journey, not only for that session journey. And third thing is tools. That's one thing which separate LLMs from agents. For example, if you ask an LLM about the current NVIDIA stock report, stock price, probably it is not trained on the latest data, so it may not know that. Yeah. And it also do not have an ability to go to the web and search it, right? I'm giving very basic example, but it can be extended to more complicated use cases. So when in agent you give, let's say, forget about any think of tool as a Python function, just a pure Python function. And within those functions, you're calling an API which is doing this stock market, extraction of the. So LLM has an ability to call that function or call that API. Now we are calling MCPs. That's a different story. But any LLM who has an ability to call a external function to answer questions which is beyond their own knowledge, that makes an LLM an agent. So that's a very clear distinction about having a brain, having a memory, and having hands to do certain things.
So that means on the lowest level, if I build a GPT in ChatGPT, give it a big CSV file of, for example, my LinkedIn posts, which I might have done, and then also enable the web research, that might already be an agent, right? If I ask something, please write me a new post in the style of my posts, given this topic, which is very new, it will have to search the web, it will have to look at my posts, and then give me something.
Yeah, if the agent has a knowledge, or if you provide it a knowledge, then it may not need a tool. But if your question is something which he don't know and the context doesn't know, then he has need to have an ability to go out and search for that information.
And that's so essentially for
agents already nice.
For everyone out there who wants to try their hands at agentic AI, basically what they would do is they would go on ChatGPT, build a custom GPT, and give it some skills, right? So you can currently, I think by default, already give it the skill of data analysis, web search, image generation. That's already like a basic agentic application, or not?
Yeah, and I think ChatGPT has also enabled connectors. Basically, you can connect your Google Store.
My Google Drive now works. That's actually
so those
quite
connectors
nice.
You can think of it as tools. So
Wait, what's your use case with Google Earth? I love to learn about these use cases.
Or
you don't want to talk about it? Then let us know.
It's a very easy thing. So I do a lot of workshops. I do a lot of presentations. I have a lot of stock presentations lying around. And now ChatGPT has access to my Google Drive with all the slides. And what I do is quite often say, I have a workshop about this, and this. Please check my old slides, which might fit for this. That works awesomely. Really.
And then it curates a couple of slides for you, or it actually builds new slides out of that?
It can't build new slides. So if you know anything, if anyone knows anything, or any tool that can build nice slides out of my prompts, I will give you at least 2,000 euros a year. So that doesn't really work yet. The slides all look horrible. I mean,
have you tried out Gamma?
Yeah, Gamma. Still.
It doesn't.
No, oh God.
I mean, Gamma, right?
Yeah, Gamma.
Gamma. Fine, but not great. But I think the more important thing for me is really, I have all this combined knowledge, this combined information stuff, and so on. And I mean, I can also look through all my slides myself, but it's way easier like this.
Okay.
I think this is a very good example when I said that I gave an example of simple web search, but that analogy can be extended to more complicated cases like this. For example, we can build presentations with a backend coding which is there in every PPT. For example, I think it's JavaScript, but I'm not sure. I've not done that myself, but I'm saying that we can also add this Python interpreter with this agent as a tool, and then they can write that code in real time to generate the slide backend code. And things can work around. That's why I'm saying that this analogy of having tools attached to LLM is the capabilities are endless.
I mean, for a few times on this podcast, we've talked about the potential productivity gains with generative AI and why they maybe have not been realized yet. Now, this whole agentic
they've been
thing,
realized for me already.
They've been realized for you, Tim. That's great. So they have been realized for Tim, and Tim probably accounts for like a large fraction of the German GDP. So like anything that we can improve here, it will drive us all forward.
Yes.
But for the rest of us, like on a macro level, we haven't seen those like tenfold earnings increases and all of that. So it's probably safe to say that we're at the beginning of realizing the productivity gains, and many of them are still unrealized, which is an opportunity, but it's where we are. Now, this agentic thing, it seems like that could be one of the keys to unlock huge productivity gains. So in your experience, what are the kind of blockers to realize those, and what's the adoption? How's that going so far? It's a fairly new topic after all, right?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it, not coined by me, but I think someone in the industry, that there are 4 levels of, let's say, automation, because it's an hyper automation, right? I mean, even machine learning or deep learning, it's part of an automation overall bucket, right? So there are 4 levels of it. One is deterministic automation that we build. Another is, second level is LLMs, right? LLMs give an opportunity that you don't really have to build your own deep learning networks. I mean, it's so huge that it almost can do so many things that we use to build models for. The level 3 is agentic AI. So we are in the transition from level 2 to level 3 right now. So we are in that stage. And level 4 probably, I mean, I don't know how many of you like this term, but it's AGI, right? So that's level 4.
Oh,
But
that's already level 4. Okay, I thought there would be some. There would be some steps in between, but okay, that's how fast we're getting there.
Maybe a step after that ASI.
So it would also be 3.5 and 3.6 or something like that.
For AGI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
But on a very high level, let's call it as this 4-step process.
Yeah.
But we are into this LLM to agentic AI phase right now. So again, I mean, things are going ahead. I mean, there are many things that we as knowledge employees have seen productivity gain in terms of, for example, coding tools, right? So we have seen very, very powerful tools like Cursor,
Lovable, ChatGPT even itself.
Exactly.
Cloud Code.
Yeah.
Recently
Cloud
big
Code.
thing.
Yeah. So, but again, it's very easy for an LLM or a neural network to learn coding. Why? Because it's a very syntactical language, right? It's a very determined syntaxes, so it's easy for them. And human language is not that syntactical. It can go anywhere. So that's why it still struggling. It's good enough, but still struggling to learn that. So that's why there are initial productivity gains to the low hanging fruits, let's call them, like coding. So again, I can also say that we are also in a stage where probably the capabilities are there, but how to use that capability for various use cases is still.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, but I'm just realizing maybe there's also a very easy answer where we didn't see the productivity gains, because everyone who's using ChatGPT and Cloud Code and everything for speeding up their programming might not tell their boss.
Yeah, that's actually something that is a big thing. Yeah.
So I think that would actually.
Would you not tell your boss?
I would. I'm my own boss.
I was going to say the boss is sitting right here.
No, I just increase my day rates. It's easier. No, I mean the thing is, isn't it also the right way? Do we have to see productivity gains, or is it actually nice that people can use these tools to, instead of working,
the question is also
8 hours a day,
like, are we
4?
sure that we are not seeing productivity gains, or if we kind of
we
relate
are
it to
seeing them.
GDP growth
we
or
are
whatever?
seeing them.
Yeah.
That would also be a good start for marketing mix model. Look at all the stuff that goes in and look at the contribution margin in the end.
Exactly.
Business mix modeling.
Business mix modeling. Yeah. So that's a big question. Like, where are these productivity gains? Maybe we are seeing them, but they are just hitting under recessive development that we would otherwise have, or whatever. So.
Yeah.
But maybe let's go into, as you just touched upon, marketing mix modeling, marketing measurement. What are the use cases there?
Again, I'll take a step back and I'll say that AI agents is level 1 when we start building any AI applications, and then AI workflows, right? That's another level, right? So it's not like we build one agent that can do end-to-end MMMs, right? Even MMMs is part of a workflow. There are so many different small pieces that come together to do an end-to-end MMM, right? So I look at it in a workflow perspective, and honestly, right now, we are not in a stage where we can say that we give an agent a task and it will completely end-to-end perform that. Coding still is in a very good space, but not other use cases right now. So when we talk about workflow, we can infuse AI at various places. For example, certain things that I have experimented and certain things which I know capabilities are there and probably will experiment soon are dealing with raw data, for example. Yeah, we know that we start our MMM process with a very, very raw data. So the capability of an agent to probably write code in real time, and if you provide a schema, the ability of it to write SQL queries, the more contextual SQL queries, these capabilities are good enough for LLMs to extract the right data and do some sort of EDA on top of that data. So again, we don't
EDA. Quick explanation.
Exploratory data analysis. For basically when you start your not MMM but any data project, you start with doing an exploratory of your data. That exploration of your data.
You should start it like that. I'm not sure everyone does it.
Maybe that's an important disclaimer. If you do MMM, do EDA
properly.
Don't do MMM without EDA.
And to be very concrete, like in an MMM context, what that could mean is you look at multicollinearity, like which variables actually which of the explanatory variables correlate with each other, which could be a problem, right? You look at variables that you don't have spent for. Then, like if they're always zero, then could get in your data set, right? Seen that many times. One variable is always zero. You cannot include it. These are the type of things that you're looking for: mistakes in the data, irrelevant data. Also, like if the right values are in there, do you really spend 1 billion euros on Facebook ads every day? Probably not. Maybe that's a decimal that got wrong there. So these type of things.
But I mean for the customer it's even easier, right? If you build a proper agent, then you can just take all your CSVs, all your Excel files, all your docs, whatever, dump it into a folder, have the agent run over it and tell you, you can do MMM now, or ask all the questions that Tim just did.
Or just connect to funnel, because then you won't have CSVs in a folder.
Okay, the folder is on the funnel website.
Right,
That was the idea.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so that's the first part of the work. And honestly, one point I would like to add here, in fact, there are so many projects that I work on. I mean, even the EDA results were very beneficial for the clients. I mean, definitely we are doing MMM and they are more interested in MMM result, but EDA findings are also something which has kind of dazzled them on their own data. Yeah. So EDA is that important.
Which, for example, what would be an example? Just seeing that there are like some data is missing, or
sometimes even the relationship between any channel with their sales data, for example. Sometimes some clients even do not have that kind of exposure as well for their own data.
A lot of clients don't have that.
Yeah.
So just seeing the data and then maybe parallel to whatever TV spending data,
or just making the connection between your back-end data and the marketing data. That's a very big thing.
Yeah. So again, so that part we can always infuse AI on that part, right? Because we definitely have a lot of deterministic steps that we do in order to perform EDA as well. Right, so I'm not saying that we have to go wild and we have to just let an LLM to just write code for those raw data. We can always make it more structured, and that's what service providers do it well. I mean, you can always go to ChatGPT and upload a file, and like you mentioned, we can always do that. But we still need in enterprise applications, we need a little bit of deterministic steps so that we just don't go helter skelter in our results. So EDA can be one place where we can infuse, right? After that, we also pre-process our data, right? We apply a lot of, let's say, add stock or saturation functions, right? So either defined add stocks or undefined saturation based on LLM's understanding of the data or understanding of marketing principles. We can also kind of let LLM to kind of suggest based on the data, right? So that's another place where AI can be, where LLMs can be very beneficial. Then comes the real modeling process, right? We were discussing before as well, right? I mean, we can let LLM also write regression function, because it's not that's complicated to write a normal regression function. But again, we can always let model to call our modeling endpoints, for example, right? So if LLM has an ability to call a tool, we can let LLM call our endpoints where we have exposed our models. So in this entire workflow, as I said, we don't just start with giving a data and end with a dashboard right now, but there can be a lot of infusions in the overall workflow. And that's where we can see a lot of productivity gains, as we are talking about.
Shekhar, just from your experience and also from what you learned now at Funnel, where's the highest productivity gain for agents to be applied in the whole sort of measurement process? Is it the 80% of the data preparation and integration, EDA, for example, or is it really in the modeling process? Just gut feel.
If I have to pick the low-hanging fruits, I would pick the first part of the entire process, which is EDA. Because again, that's something which LLM are quite.
You're saying that? I mean, from your consulting work, and
100% makes it so much easier and faster.
And again, I'm only talking about low-hanging fruits, and the last stage of it, the dashboarding stage, right? So when we build our model, we present a dashboard with all the predetermined graphs, for example, which we know that it's very important for clients to understand the measurement results. But there may be cases where clients would like to know more about MMM results. So that's when we can always let them create their charts on demand. And that's where LLMs can play a very vital role, I feel.
Yeah, I always love this use case if the GenAI insights somehow tell you, the ROAS for, I don't know, TikTok went down, and then the agent goes on and automatically digs deeper and finds out if the CPM for TikTok has been increased and why it's the case, and have there been competitors invested more, or can potentially go out and do some competitive analysis even.
Exactly.
So I mean, it sounds like a bit of the future, but the stuff that ordinary marketing manager would probably, or marketing analyst would do.
So maybe we need a KPI tree in AI agents.
Yeah,
Or AI
I
agents
was-
that
I was-
understands KPI trees and can actually go down and find the...
Yeah, and that maybe, I mean, we only have 4 minutes left, and then but no, I mean, how do you infuse this sort of expert knowledge into it? Do you create like fine-tune models to use RAG, or like because it sounds so tempting to just throw all kinds of document in a sort of RAG repository and then hope that the agents will learn from it, but.
You actually touched upon the very important topic, because these are the two, basically on a very high level, these are the two ways we can infuse knowledge into an LLM, right? We are not gonna train the model from scratch, right? So
Who knows?
Probably.
No, I mean, like, but right now it seems like back in the days, nobody would have thought that at some stage you even do your coding yourself or whatever.
But yeah, I mean, assuming that building LLM may not be required from scratch, but fine tuning, I feel, would be a very common practice. Maybe in next 2 years, I feel that after importing your libraries, the next step would be to fine tune your model, right? So I feel that would be one thing where you can take smaller models and fine tune it on your data, on your knowledge base, and make it a part of your product itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I think things will move on.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean that you cannot ask more questions. My question was the last one.
I mean, the feeling I have also the way you said it, there's a lot of stuff where AI agents, LLMs can actually solve 80% of the problems or 80% of the cases. Then you might have 20% of special weird cases that take 500% of your time, but still getting the starting point. I think that's always the important thing. And also
saving the 80%, right? So
exactly, and also saving the 80% in different working steps, like the EDA. They may be looking at the dashboard. The dashboard is there faster. That already speeds up everything so much.
Just thinking of how awesome it would be when we onboard a client, or you start working with a client. There's not a lot of interaction necessary, not because we don't want to talk to the clients, but just like put all your data there, connect all the APIs, and then the agent tells you, look, this is not really happening. You cannot analyze TV with us because you only have 1 week of data or whatever. Go ask to your agency whether they can provide the data. If we could start doing that, for example, pre-sales, like before they sign a contract, that would be amazing. Like,
but I mean, it could already be the dashboard that shows you, this is like your conversions based on your marketing.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, the cost would be like negligible, like marginal, and the benefit huge. But
yeah, and I'd like to take it a step forward as well. I mean, again, just a vision that probably at the stage when we use connectors to get data from the client's repo to our data store, right? I mean, even that stage, if we can have some kind of AI infusion where we can analyze the data then and there, if that is the starting point for our measurement process, right? And I hope that is the one. Yeah. So I think that would be a good stage for even the people who are onboarding can kind of give early warnings to the client that probably something is missing or something is not in the right state and stuff like that.
And I mean, also some channels give not great data. So my best example, my favorite example is the Google data gives you a nice table with conversions as conversion categories, and Facebook gives you conversions as columns. So I think even these things, if you put agents on this, that what Funnel is already doing quite well is actually doing the custom metrics, but if you do the custom metrics one step further and even improve the data set. So I think there's a lot of things with very, very easy,
quick wins,
easy agents, quick wins, which would make the work of everyone so much easier even more.
Yeah.
So maybe let's talk about that more.
Sure.
Use cases.
But I also feel that probably the capabilities are there, and I mean they're in a good shape. But adoption will still take a little bit more time, even in a AI enthusiastic company like ours, because because of all the security layers that has to be taken care of, because we can't give an autonomy to the agents to just talk to any database or to any repository by itself. Right?
No, but I mean, honestly, if it's all on the Funnel platform and with the data you put into Funnel yourself, then that should be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, even there, that's true, because everything agents are running within our organization and the data is within our organization. But again, the data leakage problems and stuff like that. Yeah. So those things has to be streamlined in a very systematic way. Yeah.
Yeah. Already at 4:30 CET time at least. So great stuff. Yeah. Very interesting. I think we could easily talk for another half an hour. Maybe you come back at least in, I don't know, 6 weeks or say 7-8 weeks, maybe every 2 months, so that you can talk about the agentic and GenAI stuff that we're building at Funnel.
The rapidly changing landscape.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, we made the decision to explicitly hire someone for this topic. Yeah. So thanks again for watching, everyone. Thanks, Shekhar, for being here. Thanks for you two to be here. And then until next time, don't miss out on the next episodes. And thanks for watching this. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.